many screens should you have on your desk? Now the reason you want another screen is because that makes it easier to go from one task to another, from one window to another. You just have to move your head instead of searching or flipping or even using a shortcut to go to a different screen. Now when you have two screens, you can go back and forth and back and forth. Now the question is it good to go back and forth and back and forth? Well, many tasks need the back and forth. So if you have a document and you have to analyze it and then type up what you're analyzing, you have to look and type. So now you need two screens. So instead of looking and typing, or even copying and pasting and flipping screens, or maybe even putting it like in between, making half the screen and half the screen, it's easier to have two monitors. So one is where you're looking, it's one is where you're putting it to. So it used to be where you had a physical copy on the desk and you had the desktop. So you worked here and then you put it into the computer. Now, barely any physical files most times, so instead of having it on the desk, you have it on your desktop. So now you have two screens. The question is, should I have a third screen, a fourth screen? Now, more screens, usually at the moment, on the task you're doing, you're only doing one task at a time, right? And we're not going to talk about multitasking right now, but usually we work on one task at a time. And within that task, generally, two screens should be enough. A third screen, meaning are we comparing or using three different pieces of information? So we can be looking at a YouTube video and see what to do on Excel, let's say. So then we're using one screen for Excel, one screen for YouTube. So we're watching YouTube and working on one. So we're using one maybe to take in information and one to put out information. Or we might be even comparing two things from two screens. Actually, if we compare two things from two screens, then we need a third screen to input that information from the comparison. But generally, two screens are enough. Third screen, if you do want a third screen, what I suggest is you have a third screen that's made solely for one thing. Could be emails and WhatsApps, or emails or WhatsApp messages, so that basically it becomes your message screen. Now, all you know is when I work on these two screens. When I want to look at my messages, this is where I look. Similar to if you have video cameras, you have office people working, or for whatever reason you have video cameras, you might have a screen up there with the video cameras. So you know, when I need to look and see where people are, or see if they're working, whatever it is, I look at the video cameras. And that makes that's the place to look. It's not really a screen that's in your working memory or something. So really you're working off, when you have three screens, you're working off two screens, and the third screen is only there to kind of be something that you do constantly. So instead of having to look for your emails or whatever, there's almost like a physical place. This is where my emails are. And what I saw a friend did was he had a different type of screen. He actually had a touch screen for his emails and WhatsApps, and basically it was, on the side, not together with his regular screens. He had two screens and then a third screen that was a different size, and that was for the email and WhatsApps. And I liked it. Why? The brain kind of knows when you have three screens and sometimes I'll use it here, sometimes there, and then the brain gets a little mixed up. We want the brain to keep the brain clean, pristine, work well. So basically what I suggest is two screens, so that you work with two things at once, take in information, put out information, whatever it is, so two screens. And then if you want a third screen, make it for something very specific that you use all of the time. Thank you. See you in the next video.